What is up, guys? Randomonium here. So, I wanted to discuss the play-in results, and I want to discuss predictions for groups. So, the first thing I want to talk about were the play-ins, and in my opinion, this was the best play-ins that I've ever seen. Like, I'm actually really proud. I'm really happy at the performance from all of the emerging regions, and I don't feel like anybody should be going home feeling upset with themselves. Like I can't say enough like good things about the teams that were represented at Worlds. Even the teams that went out early, INTZ, V3 Esports, like you guys still were way better than previous years, previous teams from your region. The entire esports scene is obviously getting better and better and better. Every region is getting better, and that's really exciting to see. And it does seem like the gap is narrowing between like the major regions and the more emerging regions. It's really unfortunate that Vietnam was not at this World Championship. I would have really loved to have seen those teams play, but hopefully they will be back next year. Obviously, one of the big things that we got to talk about was Mad Lions going out early. I know a lot of people are going to be sending hate towards Mad Lions, and I really don't think it's appropriate. This is a very young team, a very inexperienced team. They got nothing but bright things in their future. That's what happens sometimes. You fail, right? Especially when you're inexperienced. Like the way you learn is through failure more often than not. And Mad Lions, yeah, they went out early, but they had some really, really stiff competition. Supermassive. Wow, what what an amazing story from Supermassive. Finally taking a best of 5 series off of a major region. Can't say enough good things about this team. It's really exciting to see Turkey stepping up. Same with Oceania, Legacy Esports. Really impressive to see them finish second. Like I know a lot of people coming into the World Champions thought that Oceania was one of the worst regions in the world. So Legacy, you can leave the World Championship with your head held high. You finished second. You definitely showed that Oceania is not a region to be taken lightly. So yeah, good luck to you guys. LGD, you guys made it out. I know it was rough at first, but LGD looks like they're getting a lot better. Obviously, they're from China. I don't want to spend too much time on the main regions because obviously they're the main regions, and I want the focus to be on the emerging ones. Rainbow Seven, another surprising thing coming out of Latin America. I'm excited. I'm hoping that eventually it gets to the point where a lot of the Latin American teams can play with the NA teams, and that we can both make each other better. I know that they're already starting to do that a little bit with the academy teams and whatnot, and I hope that we continue that in the future because, yeah, I was really excited with what came out of Rainbow Seven this year. And I think kind of the winners for this for the play-ins got to be Unicorns of Love and PSG Talon. Obviously, Team Liquid did great, but NA region, major region, not going to talk too much about them. PSG Talon, I think a lot of people were kind of sleeping on them a little bit. They didn't really know what to think about them, but they came out and wow, they played so well. I mean, they had a bunch of subs, and there's a lot of conversation on, were the subs better than their normal roster? I don't know if we really want to get there. Let's just, accept the fact that we saw something really special out of PSG Talon. They just played really, really well, really, really clean. They were really exciting to watch. And I'm looking forward to seeing them in the group stage, whether they continue with their sub lineup or whether they have their full roster. The team that I was probably the most impressed of was Unicorns of Love. Like I am so excited. I was a Unicorns of Love fan back when they were in the EU LCS. To see them come back on the stage, they fell one game short last year. Now they're finally making it to the group stage. It's actually, I think, the first time that Unicorns of Love has ever made it to the group stage. I'm really excited for them. I'm hoping for really good things from them. They've got obviously a really tough road ahead of them, but it's really exciting to see them make it out of the playing stage into the group stage. So just overall, as a fan, I can't be more happy with how the play-ins went. And I hope that this is a sign for what's going to happen in the group stage and the knockout stage, because if the group stage and the knockout stage were as exciting as the play-in stage, then we're on pace to have the best world championship ever. So I'm really excited going into this group stage. That said, let's get into the pick'ems. And I think I'm going to obviously have a lot of people that don't like what I have to say. I'm not going to try and speak too much about it. But yeah. So where I am right now is I don't have any NA teams making it out of group stage. It's actually kind of hilarious that I kind of did my pick'ems and then I watched I Will Dominate's video and he had like the exact order that I did. So a lot of the how I feel is really how I Will Dominate feels as well, and I think he did a way better job explaining it than I probably ever could. So I definitely would try and point you guys to his video. I think he did a really great job explaining the strengths and weaknesses of each team. I'll kind of brush over some high level points, but I'm not going to spend. He spent like an hour going over it, so like props on him for doing that. I'm only going to spend a few minutes kind of talking about it. So yeah, definitely encourage you guys to watch his video because he did some really, really good analysis. I really like that video. All right, so Group A, I've got G2 coming out number 1, Suning number 2, Team Liquid 3, Machi 4. I might be underestimating Machi. I just think Team Liquid has so many veterans that just have so much experience that I feel like that's got to be worth something. I don't feel comfortable putting Team Liquid fourth. I know some people will put them fourth, but they've got just so many experienced players. They got Impact, they got Korg or JJ. I just can't see them finishing fourth in this group. I could see them finishing as high as second, mainly because Suning has a lot of inexperienced players, so they may have something similar happen to them that happened to Mad Lions, where just, they have got a lot of inexperienced players. I don't think a lot of them have been on the world stage before. Team Liquid is a very veteran team. The only person that isn't really a veteran would be Tactical. So I do think that there is a possibility that Suning crumbles a little bit under the pressure. Team Liquid rises to the occasion and Team Liquid makes it out second. I don't think Team Liquid matches up well into G2 Esports, so I think that they're going to struggle there. I do think that Suning has the potential to beat G2 if Suning rises to the occasion, which is why I kind of have Suning as 2. I think that Team Liquid is most likely going to get O2'd by G2, and that there's a potential that Suning goes 1-1 with G2, and that puts Team Liquid in a very difficult spot in order to be able to make it out of the group. But yeah, I do think it's possible for Team Liquid to make it out, but it requires Suning to kind of crumble under the pressure. So yeah, that's Group A. Group B, I got JD Gaming first, Damwon second, Rogue third, PSG Talon fourth. As much as I was hyping up PSG Talon, I just can't put them higher than fourth in this group. This is just really a difficult group for them. I do think that Rogue, just in general, it's probably a better team than them. It is possible for Talon to beat them and go up to the third spot, but I just think that if you were to run, the simulation, a billion times, I think Rogue would wind up winning the majority of them. So that's why I have Talon in fourth and Rogue in third. The problem is that I think everybody has acknowledged that kind of the weak point of Rogue is their top laner, and JD Gaming and Damwon are all about top jungle synergy. So I feel like JD Gaming and Damwon are just kind of like the kryptonite to Rogue right now. So I think that it's a very low likelihood that Rogue is able to take a game off of either of them unless they come up with like a really good strategy. Either they have to hard smash like mid and bot and they just sacrifice top lane, or they have to find some way to neutralize any top lane advantage the JD Gaming or Damwon go for. And I think that's just a really tough task because JD Gaming and Damwon are their favorites to win the whole tournament. So I think it's just a real uphill battle for Rogue. As far as 1 and 2, you could put them either way. It could be JD Gaming 1, Damwon 2, or Damwon 1, JD Gaming 2. I really struggled with this one. This is one of the hardest to like put 1-2. I don't know, like after watching the finals between Top and JD Gaming, it's hard to not put either of those teams at the top of their group. They just look so good. They just look so clean. I know Damwon's really, really good. It's just, I think it might be just a question of consistency. I feel like JD Gaming may be a little bit more consistent than Damwon, which is weird saying that. But both of those teams are going to play through top side, and I think that JD Gaming probably has the more consistent top jungle compared to Damwon. But Damwon, maybe they have a advantage mid, or maybe they can get an advantage bot. It's hard to say for sure. but I'm excited to see it. I'm pretty sure that those two teams are playing day one, so that's probably the match of the day that I'm looking forward to. All right, Group C. This is another really hard one, and the way I have it right now is I got Gen G first, Fnatic second, TSM third, and LGD fourth. So LGD is just like hit or miss. Like this team they could make it out, but they could crash and burn. It's so hard to predict based off what happened in play-ins. They're just a complete wild card of a team, and I don't know. I just, you could put them anywhere. Like I think I just put them fourth just because I have no idea where to really put them, and because they struggled so much in play-ins. I felt like I had to put them lower than all of the other teams within this group, but they could play spoiler to a bunch of other teams. As far as having Gen G at the top, I don't know how I can't have Gen G at the top. They just seem like that anything that Fnatic or TSM could do, Gen G, it seems like they could do better. So I feel like it's just the Gen G is just in general going to be the most likely team to make it out of Group C. And that leaves us with Fnatic and TSM. And the way I feel like it is, I really think it's going to come down to a tiebreaker. It's either going to be like a 3-3 tiebreaker or a 4-2 tiebreaker, something like that. And I'm sorry, but like EU crushes NA in tiebreakers. I forget what the exact record is, but EU has knocked NA out in tiebreakers more times than I care to remember. And I think that Fnatic would beat TSM the majority of the time in a tiebreaker situation. I think that's what it's going to come down to. I think Fnatic is going to face TSM in a tiebreaker, and that Fnatic is definitely the favorite to win that tiebreaker, which is why I have TSM in third. If TSM is able to 2-0 Fnatic and avoid that tiebreak scenario, I think that's the best chance that TSM has. But if TSM drops a game to Fnatic and they wind up going 1-1 with each other, I think that puts TSM in a really difficult position. And I do believe that TSM is playing Fnatic at game one or day one as well, so that's going to be a really interesting matchup as well, because it's going to be huge, for TSM's chances at Worlds. If they can't win that first match, it's a big deal. And then finally, we got Group D. Obviously, I have Top Esports as number 1, DRX number 2. I have Unicorns of Love 3 and FlyQuest 4. I know people are going to hate me for that, especially the NA fan base. But Unicorns of Love just look so good. They just look so good coming out of the play-in stage. And I know FlyQuest, number 2 representative, they made it to the finals. Everybody always underestimates them. I know I'm underestimating them again. I do think that FlyQuest could show up huge, and they could get third, maybe even get second if DRX drops the ball. But it feels like I'm not playing the odds if I put FlyQuest anything higher than fourth. They definitely have the potential to rise to the occasion and get second or third. But I definitely think that the most likely outcome is it'll be FlyQuest fourth, Unicorns of Love third. DRX, I know people say there's a lot of question marks surrounding DRX. I don't know. I don't know which version of DRX is going to show up. I don't think that there's many situations where they would ever unseat Top as the number 1 coming out of this group, but there is potential that DRX falls to third or fourth, depending on how they play, and that could open the door for Unicorns of Love or FlyQuest to make it out of group stage into the quarterfinals. I think the only thing that's kind of locked, or that I would consider locked, would be Top Esport as the number 1 coming out of this group. I think that's definitely a high likelihood that Top winds up going undefeated in this group. It feels like it's a pretty easy group for Top to get out of. So as it stands right now, I don't have any NA teams making it out of groups, and that sucks. But I think it's kind of appropriate to keep the expectations low. I do think that there is potential for each of the 3 NA teams to steal that number 2 spot, but it requires a lot of complicating factors. It requires Suning to crack under the pressure. It requires Fnatic to either lose a tiebreaker, which is unlikely, or get 2-0'd by TSM. It requires both DRX and Unicorns of Love to not be able to figure out FlyQuest, and FlyQuest to kind of surprise them with the drafts and surprise them with their play. There's a lot of additional things that need to happen in order for an NA team to make it out of the group stage, which is why I kind of have them in either in third or fourth. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are. It's always interesting to see what people's pick'ems are. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. This is Randobonium signing off.